Good morning, everybody. Today, I want to talk about understanding the dynamics of team flow and a relatively new tool that I have just begun using and wanted to share with people and to get more feedback on it. So today we're going to talk about behavioral models, and we're going to talk about a new type of or newer type of behavioral model called the Enneagram. And it's a holistic model for understanding human behavior and temperament and how to apply this model. So this is going to be kind of a dip your toe in the water to see if you're interested and want to learn more about it. And I encourage you to do that and then have questions along the way. So, but when I was getting feedback from other folks, they were saying, what is something new out there in the field, something that, we can try? And so the theoretical models have been around for a long time. Like, people have been trying to figure out why people act like people since the beginning of people. And there's a couple of models out there. There's many models out there, but the primary ones that almost everything is built off of, the first one is DISC, and it's based on the work of William Moulton Marston's back in 1928. And so it's very simple. It's a 2 by 2 matrix. Myers-Briggs is another very famous one, and it is a 4 by 4 matrix, and it was started by two women, Catherine Cooks Briggs and Isabel Brooks Myers, and back in 1944. And I didn't know this, but through some research and preparing for this, they actually developed it to help women find a role that they could play in the World War II war effort. And so that was the whole kind of driving impetus behind it. And so pretty interesting in my mind. And then the Enneagram is a 3 by 3 matrix, and there's these 9 basic types, and it's started, the history is a little bit misty in the back and stuff like that, but it really became in the United States from a gentleman named Claudio Naranjo in the early 1970s, 1971. So it's only been around for a very short time compared to the others. And so I am always looking for ways to help improve performance in my own as well as others, and I was pretty excited to learn about this. To start with, it's a model. It's a mental model of thinking about how people work. And Edward Pelham-Box, who's one of my favorite mathematicians, um, all models are wrong, some are useful. And so when I look at a model that, you can find parts of it that work really well and parts of it that really serve you well. And this one, I think you're going to find, is going to add whole new dynamics. And this is my experience. I've been a practitioner with DISC and Myers-Briggs, certified both, use them all. Very useful. They help us understand and accept who we are and our own type. They appreciate other people so that we can appreciate that they can be different without being, quote, wrong. And they can improve communications and team. But what's frustrating to me about both DISC and Myers-Briggs, it helps you understand who you are, but it doesn't really lend itself to personal professional growth and transformation. And actually it can be a little bit, people become entrenched and they actually stop trying to change. It's like, well, I'm a D, just deal with it, or I'm an ESTJ and that's just the way I am, instead of saying, okay, this is how I am and how do I get better. And so I've found that many people, once they've learned their type, just become more of that type and not necessarily try to improve the things that that type is tend to. And so the Enneagram, it's like the other types. It helps you understand, your own type. It can help you appreciate other people without being wrong, and it improves our communications. But what's different about this, and when I first heard about it, I was a little bit dubious, and I'm naturally skeptical by nature. But as I've really dug into this and I've done a lot of research and I've been using it with my clients and individual coaching now for a while, and I'm really seeing some amazing things. It encourages growth. It helps you understand where you're at, but also what it takes for you to become more effective, more integrated, and also more satisfied. And it's actionable. It actually gives you steps to how to improve. And it delineates also healthy and unlevel healthy, because if you met me on a bad day, you might take a certain perception of me and say, this is who he is. And the Enneagram actually shows what, when you're at your peak, when you're kind of sliding down, and when you're really at a poor level. And it's also cross-referenced to DSM, which is the Diagnostic Statistics Manual of Psychology. And it actually shows you how the different personality types can go down into, even if there's a lot of psychologists and psychiatrists now using it in their practice for people who are at unhealthy levels and emotionally struggling. And so it incorporates both the mind, emotions, body. It's pretty amazing and very comprehensive. Again, we can't cover it all today, but I wanted to give you guys an introduction to what it is so that you can kind of feel for it and encourage you to go explore more. So again, behavior is observable, all right? We can see what you're doing, but I don't know why you're doing what you're doing. And so I assign my motives to your actions. So if I like you and you do something, I'll say, oh, it does that because of this. But if I don't like you, and I can assign negative motives. It's situationally based. We change with different situations. You act differently at home than you do in front of the CEO. It's flexible depending on how things are going. It's dynamic. It always changes. And it's based on our thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, our culture, and it's an expression of our personality. And that's the Enneagram really goes into this personality aspect of it. Now, on our behaviors, we all try to move towards things we want or desire, and we try to move away from our fears. And our fundamental desires is we all desire security in our lives, autonomy, and attention. And we move away from things like pain or being controlled by someone else or isolation. And behavior becomes habituated over time. So the ABCs of behaviors is antecedents, things that come before. So events, situations, education, the culture you're from, then what you do, and then consequences. And then based on those consequences, we either do more or less of that behavior. So if you're hungry and you're not sure where to eat, you try a new restaurant. So the antecedent, hungry, behavior, new restaurant, consequences. It was a good restaurant, good experience. You're more likely to do that again without even really thinking about it. So our behaviors and our thoughts actually become habituated where we're no longer necessarily give a lot of thought to it. Initially, we may say, where do you want to eat? I don't know. And you think about it. But in the future, it's just like no brainer. And so our personalities are congealed, habituated responses and habituated thoughts until we're not even aware that that's a thought we had to really think about once. And so since our personalities are habituated, it really comes back to we sense, interpret, respond. So these ingredients of how we sense and then how we respond become the primary ingredients for our hardened personalities. As we get older, our personalities tend to become harder and harder over time. And so with the Enneagram, there's kind of look at three ways in which we interact with the world. And so each of us interprets our experiences through our heart. So our emotional, some people are heart-centered, some people are more head-centered, thinking about it, and some people are just more instinctual. Okay, if I go and you all of a sudden you see something flashing towards your eyes, your body lifts up and responds physically without even having to think about it. So each of us have all of these centers. All right. But one center tends to dominate because we developed the capacity during our formative years. Everything.
Hi there. I hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Maludis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also gaining complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year. But if you use the coupon code LEARN2EARN, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.